Hey guys, it's 23. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to do a product overview of the Glock 18 by Orze. So before we get started, I just want to say sorry that it took so long to get this video out. I actually did record when it first came out, but then it kind of sucked. But then the next update was coming out, so I thought I'll do it again. And then Orze was working with me with another update that was coming out, so I was like, you know what? So I just thought I'll just wait for this next update, and then I'll just get it done. And then yeah, so here we are. So this is the Glock 18 by Orze. This is the 1.2 version of it. It is modeled, rigged, and animated by him. The way I met Orze was actually through a friend of mine, Fox. Earlier this year, they reached out to me and said, hey, I know a guy that's making a gun. Would you be interested in testing it out? And I agreed, and myself and also another person you may know, they met up with them, and then they showed us this gun. The main idea of this asset is to make something realistic but also fun at the same time. There's two places where you can buy this. You can either go to his Gumroad page or his booth page. On his Gumroad page, it is listed as $15 USD. On his booth page, it is listed as 2,200 yen. So I'll just go over some of the specs for you guys. So there's about 12,000 vertices. There's about 23,000 trigons. There's 5 materials, not including the particle meshes, 2 lights, and 37 synced parameters. This is a right defaults on asset, so if you work with right defaults off, just be aware it is right defaults on. With this new update, it is now Quest compatible, so if you have a Quest, you can use it. Just on knowing that you won't get some of the features that you will get on the regular PC build. You won't get the reflex sight, you won't get sound, you won't get the flashlight and laser, you won't get the ammo counter, and you also won't get some of the master flashes. Other than that, it is functionally the same. The way it shoots, the way it handles, it's pretty much the same. You just won't get the cosmetic stuff. So with this asset, you'll get the 1.2 version. You can also get the 1.1 and also the first version if you like. You will get a blend file, the UV files, and also a substance file. So I'll just separate what you get in each version. In 1.1, there's a lot of things that have changed. Number 1 is that there's a Quest compatible version. Number 2 is that the fire rate has gone up, so it shoots a lot faster than before. And the third thing is how the magazine behaves in your hand now. So before, when you insert in a magazine, it will kind of follow where the magazine is. So depending how you set it up, it might be a little bit difficult to insert a magazine. But now with this new update, instead of the magazine, it follows your hand. So if you're someone that twists your hands while you reload, like me, it's a lot easier to reload now. So now you can kind of like palm the magazine, which works a lot better, and Orze and I think it feels better. There is one hidden feature with this new update. If you have Boneworks mag in the hand, if you do a rock and roll gesture, it will drop the second mag that you grab. In 1.2, you will get a toggle to disable the disassemble animation. So going into the modifications menu, you won't trigger the animations anymore. There's also an update with the suppressor. Putting on the suppressor, you might not see it at first, but now you can grab the slide. And you will notice that it kind of moves in and out. Now this is kind of simulates a booster. So if you don't know what a booster is, by my understanding, it helps with the recoil. With the Glock in particular, it has a floating barrel. I think that's what it's called. But basically, if I look at back the slide, the barrel wiggles. You can actually see it now. If I grab the slide now, you can actually see it move up and down. You also notice that if I go into the modifications menu, it now has threads. So before it didn't have threads, but now it does. So you won't really see it if you don't have the suppressor on, but it is there if you disassemble it. Another change is the gunshots. So the way it worked before is that each gunshot played 2 sounds. You get the bang, and then you get the boom. It was a way to simulate distant gunshots, so the further you are, you hear more of the boom instead of the bang. But now it's all in one, so you get the boom and the bang in one sound. Now each time you shoot, you're playing 1 sound, technically 2 if you count in the reset sound. So the reason why Orze made it like this is for my next point, is that so Orze is setting up this prefab so that in the future you can dual wield. At the moment we're still working on it, so it still requires a little bit more work. I don't know if it is ready for this update, but it is in the works so that when you dual wield, you're technically playing 2 sounds instead of 4. The reason why Orze is doing this is because VRChat doesn't really like having too many sounds playing at the same time. There is a limit, I think it is 3 or 4, but basically when you start playing too many sounds at the same time, they tend to cut off each other, so they interfere and then the sounds don't play and it just messes up the whole thing. So we're trying to mitigate that by having it so that only 2 sounds play each time you shoot if you're dual wielding. So that's cool. So there's 2 tutorials that you can look at. There's a video tutorial or a written tutorial. So once you install the Unity package, there are 2 ways to install the asset. There's a VRC Fury way or a manual way. I did the VRC Fury way, it's just a lot more easier. Setting up the asset is pretty straightforward. You just drag and drop the prefab into your avatar. You can scale it. There's targets they can move to align with your avatar. You can also change where the holster is placed. So by default, it is on your right thigh, but you can change it to your hip or your chest if you like. You can also change the magazine holster. It does come with a holster, but if you already have a holster, you can just move each mag to the holsters on your avatar. The way I have it set up is I have the pistol holster on my hip and I have magazine pouches, so I just deleted the magazine holster and then I move the magazines to my pouches. If you're left-handed, you can easily set it up as if you're left-handed. There's a blend shape on the holster so you can flip it and then you can just move the magazines to wherever you like. And that's pretty much it. Now it's ready to be uploaded. Okay, so once you first upload into your avatar, it will pretty much look like this. I'll go through the radio menu for you guys. So the first toggle you will see is a Glock toggle, so you can turn it on and off. You got a modifications menu. In there you will have a stock, which will affect the gun, but I'll also explain that later. You will have a suppressor, you will have an extended mag from 17 to 33, you will have a reflex sight, flashlight and laser combo, you will have an ammo counter, and you also have a long slide. Out of that menu and into the next menu, you have a debug menu. So anything that goes wrong, you can look in this menu. You have a reset button, so if anything goes wrong, you can just reset the whole gun. You have a direct to hand. This is good if you're on desktop and if you just want to test it out really quickly. You have a jamming toggle. You have a force jam toggle. Pretty much the next shot you will force the gun to jam. You'll have an infinite power, which is basically just infinite ammo. You have a next page that has mag drop gesture, so you can't use a gesture to drop the magazine. You have a mag insert distance fix. Basically that moves the contacts up and down from the gun. So depending on your avatar and your controller, if you tend to smack your controllers together, you can move the contacts up and down to accommodate your setup. You have a left hand main toggle. So if you're left-handed, that you can turn that on, but also it switches the gun to each hand. You have a chamber status, basically that forces the bullet into the chamber. So if you're on desktop, you can just force the bullet into the chamber. And you have a fast mag pickup. This is new to the update. Basically, if it's on, if you make your fist and bring it to the mag pouch, it will pick up a mag. If you have it off, you can't do that. Basically, you have to put your hand near the mag and then make your fist. It's just so that you don't accidentally grab the mag if you're doing something else. And then finally you'll get the toggle to disable the disassemble animation like I explained earlier. Going back to the start, next you have a gun control. In there you have a mag drop button, you have a fire mode switch from semi to full auto, you have a menu to toggle on your laser or your flashlight, and you have a drop toggle so you can drop the gun in the world. Side note with that, if you drop the gun in the world, other people can use it to an extent. Other people can grab the slide and also shoot the gun, but they can't reload the gun, only you can. That's pretty much it for the radio menu. Let's talk about the gun itself. I'll quickly go over how to use the gun. To take out the gun, all you have to do is bring your hand close to the gun, do a finger point, and then you can pull it out. If you do a finger point anywhere and then bring your hand to the gun, you won't draw it out. You have to bring your hand close to the gun first, finger point, and you can draw. To reholster the pistol, all you have to do, open hand, bring your hand close to the holster, and then go back in. You can do an open hand anywhere you want, you don't have to be near the holster. To shoot the gun, all you have to do is just make a fist. It is weighted, meaning you have to pull the trigger. It's not just tapping on the trigger, you have to pull the trigger. To eject the magazine, all you have to do is do a rock and roll. To grab a new magazine, all you have to do, bring your hand close to the mag, make a fist, and you pull one out. Inserting the magazine is proximity based, so basically the closer you are to the base of the pistol, you insert the magazine. If you want to grab the mag from the pistol, make a fist, place it underneath the gun, do a rock and roll, and you grab it. If you want to do attack mag, grab a mag first, bring your hand underneath the pistol. Note you have to make a fist with your offhand, do a rock and roll with your firing hand, and you will do attack mag. If you want to lock back the slide, all you have to do is grab the slide, pull back, and with the shooting hand, lift up your thumb or make a finger gun, let go of the slide, and you'll lock the slide. Dropping the slide, you just lower your thumb. So this gun is pretty much like any gun in the market. You can shoot it, you can reload it, and stuff like that. It's pretty much all the same. But the main thing to keep in mind is that Orze built this gun with realism in mind. Let me explain. So all the little details that you can find on level up, you probably might find it here. Like for example, with the trigger. So placing my finger on the trigger, you'll see that the trigger safety is engaged. Pulling the trigger to the rear will drop the hammer. And if I slowly release the trigger, you'll hear a reset sound. I haven't really seen any other gun do this on the market in terms of a reset sound. Also, dropping the hammer, you'll notice that it is now a mushy trigger. If I hold down the trigger and I pull back, it basically primes the hammer again. So if I slowly release again, you'll hear the reset, and then I can drop the hammer again. And I can keep doing that. So bracket, reset, break the shot, bracket, and so on and so forth. The slide even has stages. So hammer is down. If I pull back on the slide just a little bit and then release it, it does cock the hammer. If I load it and pull back the slide, the bullet will first eject. If I let go from that stage, it won't load in the bullet. So if I pull back again, you can see that there's no bullet in the chamber. So you have to fully pull back on the slide to load in the bullet. Speaking of that, if I pull back on the slide and let go, you can hear a audible sound. But if I pull back on the slide and then push it forward, you hear no sound. So if you want to be stealthy, you can pull back on the slide and then slowly release it forward, which is a nice touch. Even the barrel moves if the slide is locked back, so you can wiggle the gun and you can see it kind of move. Even the way the magazine works, if I drop the magazine sideways, so now it's just kind of like sliding in and out. What I can do is I can make a fist and kind of like grab the magazine, and if I let go, it's still sliding in and out. And there's a couple of things you can do from here. If you want to reinsert the magazine, you can just slap it in. If the magazine is upside down but you want to eject it, you can basically punch out the magazine. So if I push it upwards, it will shoot up. And speaking of that, there are two speeds that the magazine drops. If I drop the mag like normal, that's one. If I either punch the gun down or flick it, the magazine will eject faster. It is hard to notice, but it is there. Dropping the magazine like normal and flicking the magazine out. You can also reinsert the magazine if you do a rock and roll gesture again. Even the speed of the bullets ejecting from the pistol is different depending if you rack the slide or you shoot the gun. So if I rack the slide, you notice that they don't really go that far. But if I shoot, you will notice that the casings fly out. When you attack magging, you can pick whichever mag that you want. So even though you got the old magazine out, you can still put it back in if you want. So I can pick the old magazine, or if I want to pick the new magazine, I can. So you're not really locked in. You can still pick what magazine you want to insert into the pistol. You can also do this indefinitely. So if I keep tack magging, I can, if I wanted to for some reason. Even small details like the chamber indicator extrudes if there's a bullet in there or not. You can also disassemble the gun, well, kind of. There's an animation that you can do. If you empty the gun and drop the hammer and you go into your modifications menu, it will start a disassembly animation so you can see the gun disassemble. So another thing that sets this asset apart from what's out there at the moment is that it has an ammo system. So you may notice that each magazine has a number on it. You have 1 and 2. Each mag has 17 rounds, and also has set it up in the way that it will remember how many bullets are in each mag. So, for example, if I load the gun, and I turn on the ammo counter so you guys can see, and I just shoot a bunch of times. In this mag 1, I have 7 bullets. If I put mag 1 away and grab mag 2, 17 bullets, and I shoot a bunch. Now mag 2 has 11, right? I'm just gonna put it back in the gun. If I grab mag 1 again, you can see that mag 1 still has 7 bullets. So mag 1 has 7, 2 has 11. 7, 11! Oh my god! Anyway, so each magazine will remember how much it has if you stow it away into the mag pouches. If you just drop the mag out like normal, the next magazine will be a fresh one. Let's say you were shooting a bunch, bang bang bang. If you tack mag, it will remember how much bullets you have. If you want a new magazine, all you have to do is just grab the magazine from your pouch and then just drop it. And then it will just give you a fresh magazine. So another feature that this gun has is recoil. So if I shoot slowly, it's pretty accurate. But if I shoot faster, the bullet spread is wider. Now if I two-hand the gun, I can be as fast as I want and still be accurate. Now the recoil is more noticeable if you're in full auto. So full auto one-handed, very uncontrollable. But two-handing it in full auto, a lot better. Now if I equip the stock and I shoot it one-handed, it's like if I'm shooting it with two hands. So the stock does affect the gun, which is kind of cool. So I can just use it one-handed and do whatever I want with my offhand. You may notice that shooting one-handed, the gun does jump up a little bit more compared to if you two-handed, the gun is a bit more stable. Another feature, I guess, is syncing. So Orze has spent a lot of time trying to make it as synced as possible. So whatever I see, you should see, and whatever you see, I should see. Now there's some things that won't be synced, and that's mostly just a VRChat problem. Hence why there's 37 sync parameters. There's a lot of parameters to ensure that it is synced, and Orze has worked with me a lot to test its syncing. And I think we're at a good stage. It feels like it's a good stage. Cross my fingers. And that's pretty much it for the overview. Sorry again that it took so long. These updates did have things that I thought you guys might be interested in knowing, especially like this Quest compatible, because I thought, you know, Questies would like to use it, so I thought I'll let you guys know. I did say earlier this was meant to be a review, but actually when I first started recording, it felt kind of weird. Like it felt too biased, because, you know, I worked with Orze for the last few months, and, you know, me going, hey guys, let's review this product that I've worked for a few months, and saying all this stuff about it. So I thought way too biased and it was way too weird. So I just thought I'll just talk about it, do an overview of it, and then yeah, I want to say a big thanks to Orze for allowing me to work with him with this asset and also with his other continuing assets. So I'm really thankful and I'm really honored to be able to work with you. So thank you so much for allowing me to help you with these assets. It's a lot of fun, and yeah. Thank you so much. I also have to thank Fox for introducing me to Orze in the first place. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do this, so thank you, Fox. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative for you guys, and I hope you learned more about Orze's Glock 18. It's a really cool asset, and it's a lot of fun to use. It's actually kind of my main go right now as a sidearm. Yeah, so yeah, I hope this video was helpful in any way. If you'd like me to do more of these videos, like an actual video of another product, or just an overview on another product, or anything similar like this, do let me know. I have been thinking about doing these things, but I am hesitant because I don't have a lot of Unity knowledge. I just know how to make certain things like avatars and like toggles and stuff, but when it comes to this stuff, like gun assets and stuff, it's new territory for me, and I look at this stuff and I think it's just voodoo, black magic. I just don't know how it works, but I like playing around with them and seeing how they work. So yeah, so yeah, if you want to see more, just let me know and I'll see what I can do. Thank you again, Orze, for allowing me to help with you with these assets, and I'll look forward to working with you again. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later.